Hello everyone. Let's get into narrating Exodus chapter 11. This is an important chapter in the liberation of Israelites from Egypt, and it contains several lessons and applications for our lives today. In this chapter, God speaks to Moses, foretelling the final and most devastating plague that will befall the Egypt. The plague of the firstborn is announced, where the firstborn of every Egyptian, from the firstborn of Pharaoh to the firstborn of the prisoners, will die. Meanwhile, God reiterates His promise to protect the Israelites and ensure their eventual freedom. One of the key lessons from Exodus 11 is to trust in God's promises. Even in the face of impending tragedy, God reassures Moses and the Israelites of His protection. In our lives today, we can apply this by having faith in God's promises, even when circumstances seem bleak. It reminds us that God is faithful and His promises will be fulfilled in His time. The events in this chapter remind us of the importance of patience. The Israelites had been in bondage for generations, and their liberation was finally at hand. Sometimes we too face many long periods of hardship or waiting. It's crucial to remember that God works on His timetable, and His plans may not align with our own. We must be patient and trust that God's timing is perfect. Exodus chapter 11 also highlights the consequences of Pharaoh's stubbornness and pride. He had ample opportunity to let the Israelites go and avoid the plagues, but his refusal led to the suffering of his people. In our lives, it's a reminder of the consequences of stubbornness and pride. At times, we are too stubborn and we let our ego play what we are. It's essential to be open to change and to heed the warnings and opportunities for repentance when they come our way. Let's be humble at every chance we get. This chapter teaches us the importance of compassion and empathy. While the Israelites were to be spared from the plague, it was still a tragic event for the Egyptians. As we go about our lives, we can apply this lesson by being compassionate and empathetic towards others. Even in the moments of triumph, we should remember that our victories shouldn't come at the expense of others. Towards the end of the chapter, it showcases the power of God's redemption and deliverance. The Israelites' liberation from Egypt is a symbol of God's ability to rescue us from the bondage of sin, oppression, and hardship. In our lives today, we can apply this by seeking God's redemption and deliverance, believing that He has the power to set us free from our own struggles and challenges. To conclude, Exodus chapter 11 provides valuable insights and applications for our lives today, including trust in God's promises, patience, humility, compassion, and the power of God's redemption. It reminds us that the lessons from this ancient story are still relevant and meaningful in our modern lives. Thank you for listening. May God bless you all in abundance.